There are themes within Takmalah that listeners may find triggering, including intrusive thoughts, violence, domestic abuse, suicidal ideation. If any of the topics in this episode speak to you, you're not alone. We have partnered with SAD, who host an online support group called Shits and Giggles every Thursday. Wherever you are on your survival journey, SAD offers a chance to connect, to be heard and supported by this incredible group of survivors. If you want to become an ally, follow us. Rate and review so we can grow this community. #safety in numbers. And please share it with anyone you may suspect needs to hear this. Special thanks to Helder Sousa for voicing the part of baked beans. Still no idea who I am, but I know I'm in trouble. Oh, fuck. I need a hype tune. Do you know what I mean? I need a hype tune. But my head has been silent all weekend. No music, so no dancing, no loud movements. Because I am officially on guard, ever ready, poised like a meerkat, ready for attack. Hi! I do know, however, what I cannot handle. Paige, I cannot handle being shouted at one more time by that man in person. When he gets going and starts calling me a demon and the devil himself, my whole body reacts. And I'm rushing to the toilet. And every time I'm sat on the loo, I'm thinking, if he turns up right now, my pants are down by my ankles. What am I going to do? Run off the loo with a shitty body. Ugh. When I was a kid, I used to alert my parents that I needed some assistance wiping my back bottom by singing at the top of my lungs, "Please, can someone come and wipe my body?" So here's me running back and forth to the toilet. My guts are supporting my anxieties, hostile takeover of my bodily functions. And guess what? I've just come on my period. So now I'm bleeding as well. Awesome. It's the threats. The messages haven't stopped, and the voice notes, my God, I've stopped listening. And he keeps calling. And I don't pick up. Oh, for God's sake, now I'm having the onset of another panic attack. I just want to find my bloody moon cup whilst wiping my body. I can't cry because there's too much fluid coming out of me at once. I mean, this is ridiculous. Imagine walking in on this. This is pretty RB Paige. Do you think this is my rock bottom? But whilst I was on the loo, I decided I needed to slow baked beans down. When he eventually turned up at my house raging, I needed to slow him down. So last night, when I was shitting my pants, I put a load of shit down to trip him up. I laid out all my rakes in different positions, planks of wood sticking out at all different lengths, and I made rubble hills. I've memorised where they are. It just gives me enough time to hear which entrance he's entering my home on. The beauty of living in a house you're renovating is I had shit everywhere, so I didn't have to make too much noise, just move things. And I'd put things that made a specific noise that I knew to alert me as to which way he was coming in. I thought that was pretty clever. I didn't think he was going to enter in the guest entrance. This has access from the street via a metal gate, which doesn't lock. Anyway, goes up a stairwell and there are 17 steps up to another door, which has a 2-inch long bolt that wouldn't keep a cat out. But I don't think this exit is on his radar. In fact, I can't say fact, I think, and this is a level 8.7 on the certainty scale of my OCD risk assessment. You see, I'd hidden there once before and he'd actually left but after he couldn't find me. So I've placed an old door with one of those round handles. It's rotten, but I can lift it easily. So if he enters that way, because I've laid the bricks, I'm going to kick them at him and either charge at him with the door or lob it down the stairs at him. I'm thinking he falls over and the stairs are wide enough for me to dart past. Then I can run up the hill. I mean, it's not much of a hill, but an incline past the main entrance. That's padlocked. And it's like a gate thing. And I'm going to utilise my neighbour's 5 steps. So I climb the 5 steps, place one foot on their metal gate, stand on the middle bit with my foot in between the bars, and then I'm going to haul myself up onto the cornerstone of my property, then jump down. I'm accessing my property from the most vulnerable exit. I'm going to grab my dogs, a sausage and an Italian greyhound, whip it across so they're both small, whack them under each arm. My keys are in my pocket and I've already put the shit in my car. I did that in the middle of the night too. And I left the door open of my car. I've got my passport this time, motherfucker. And we skadoodle. We get the fuck out of Dodge till he's calmed down. And I go back at some point. And then my idea, as it currently stands, is to hide out for a while. My ideal scenario is that he comes in the guest entrance. But this isn't going to happen, and that's a 9.9 assessment on the OCD level of risk. No, because I know the way he enters. Every time he's done it before, he's come onto my home, into my home, onto my land, uninvited. No, Baked Beans is going to come bounding down the road, shouting, I imagine. And he will hop up my neighbour's step and pole vault over, placing one of his massive hands onto the cornerstone and hop on in. There's me climbing up. No, he's just going to hop on in. He's really tall. So it's been a bit of a busy night and I'd barely slept, not for long enough. You see, a car would go past and I was awake. So from about 4:30, I thought, put your time to good use and just start to prepare yourself to pick up Senor M at 7:20. I just don't know if I can physically leave my house. I'm scared to. He's made so many threats to me, my house, my dogs. So to leave them for a round trip of around 40 minutes, because I've got to get 34 minutes there and back, but I've got to get his tools into my boot. The how are yous, greeting his wife, because if I don't seem normal and do what I normally do, he's going to think I'm mental and not want to come back again. Then that's one more person thinking I'm mental. My knickers are an absolute twist about leaving the dogs. And another panic attack slowly creeps. I feel like a really bad dog mum right now. You know, the worst person in the bloody world because I'm too scared. I didn't walk the dogs all weekend. Look, I haven't left my house. His messages were heavy, menacing, and at times really fucking crazy. And it was harrowing, all the threats. Like, when do you take the threats seriously? Because seriously, I've seen what he gets like and what he's capable of. I've experienced that. And there are some things I just can't go through again. Please, can someone come and my house is so goddamn open. I know he's going to come, but surely he won't lose it if Senor M is there. And I feel really bad. I don't want to tell Senor M about it in case I am just being really dramatic. But I've still got to leave my house. And then suddenly at 6:45, I felt this surge of, I don't really know what, but it made me want to move, and I did. And I made it out. I left the car door open. That was such a good idea, because I don't want to be seen. I don't want to be seen fannying around, faffing with my keys to get into locks. And I'd found a solution to hearing his voice all the time. I'd got a pair of those orange what's it foamy things, and I shoved those into my ears. So indeed, I did have a panic attack near his house, but I had enough time to regulate myself before picking Senor M up and his tools and acting like normal. I didn't want to tempt fate by telling him, but that made me feel really guilty and bad, because it wasn't cool to let someone come into this not knowing what was going on. But also at the same time, I didn't know what was going on, and I didn't want it to be a dick and like make out that bad shit was definitely going to happen, because I don't know that. I'm not him. I'm not baked beans. But am I baked beans if I'm pulling stunts like that by not giving Senor M the choice about whether to come, knowing all of the context and the circumstances? I hadn't formed much of a plan other than to make 4 columns on a piece of paper, and what I've done is I've made headers: fact, fiction, focus, fortify. So every time I had a thought about something that had happened or a bit of confusion in my head, I decided I was going to gather evidence to prove whether that was fact, fiction, I'd made it up, and then I was going to focus on the facts and find more evidence to let me know what I'd done wrong, where I'd gone wrong, and then I was going to fortify myself. I needed to be better. And I know, Paige, I know. Why don't I leave? I don't know. I'm renovating a house and he tells me he's going to burn it down, and I have had enough of destruction. I don't want to be run out of town. I like Portugal. I don't want to be run out of Portugal, and I just can't. I can't leave my house sometimes. And I really need you to accept that. This isn't up for negotiation. Just understand that I have 100% OCD certainty. My OCD won't let me leave and not finish this project. So yeah, I need a hype tune. So here's one for your consideration. The first contender is the history and the myth that surrounds this solo album. Internal Affairs. Pheromonches, inextricably intertwined album with the legendary Raucous label, all of that nonsense. And it was in 1999. Buried alive just about 2 years later. And that cover, him in the Red Sea of, I don't know, blood or whatever it's, depicting, basically could be me coming out of the river. And I can't remember, has he got 2 feathers on his palms? Well, look, I can stick my dog's bottoms on each. But yeah, let's change the up to an out. And we can say, get the fuck out. Baked beans, get the fuck
Simon
out.
says, get the fuck up, throw your hands in the sky. Weezer's in the back, sipping yak, y'all, what's up? Girls, rub on your titties. Yeah, I said it, rub on your titties. New York City gritty committee, pity the fool that act shitty in the midst of the calm, the witty.